is Camille, and this is my channel, Camille's Dishes, and today we're going to be doing some meal prepping. I use a subscription-based program called Workweek Lunch to find meal preppable recipes. It's a really cool program. They have over 400 recipes, and today I'm going to be using 2 recipes from their free recipes. Like I said, it is subscription-based, so I pay to have access to over 400 recipes, but they do have a bunch of free recipes and they release free ones all the time. But I thought just for the purpose of this video, I would be making some of their free recipes. I'm going to start with, I'll show you their website. So this is where you can get their free recipes. It's called workweeklunch.com. And the first recipe I'm going to be making is pineapple fried rice. Where is it? Right here. So pineapple fried rice with red peppers and peas. Looks like this. And I'll link to this below. I have all of my ingredients. 2 of the features or benefits of using the program is that they like to focus on low food waste and time saving. So a lot of the recipes give you steps on how to make the recipe quicker. Like for instance, start your oven, put your things that you're going to roast in the oven in, then do your chopping. So it kind of helps if you're not really sure about that time management aspect. And then also the website is searchable by ingredients. So for instance, if you have pineapple or an abundance of any kind of vegetable or meat or something that you want to use, you can search recipes by that ingredient and it will give you options. And there's like one-pot meals. They tell you if you can freeze the meal, how long it lasts, things like that, so that you can really use up food in a way that reduces waste. And so with the pineapple fried rice today, I'll actually be using some white rice that we have left over from takeout, ham that we have left over from a dinner that we went to, and then everything else is just stuff I have on hand. I have some peas and lima beans. I have some green onions. These aren't in the recipe, but I'll still use them as like a little thing on top. And I'm going to actually be using these soy sauce packets too. I've been keeping them and just trying to use them up from takeout. So let's get started with pineapple fried rice. So I've set my timer for 2 hours just so we can time how long it's going to take me to make the recipe. So because the recipe is written for tofu and we're going to use ham that's already cooked and rice that's already cooked, I'm going to start with the step for the peas, which is to heat oil in a pan. So look at this. Up. Should drain this. Have this little can draining tool. We'll save that for something else. I'm just going to put this over here and get the cutting board. Sauce. All right. Now that my pan is hot, I'm going to start adding my vegetables, starting with the frozen sweet peas. Next, I'll slice up and add my roasted red pepper. I used this instead of a bell pepper because I had it on hand. And I dice it up into probably like 1/4-inch pieces. Then it was time to add the pineapple. I added about 3/4 of this container. Adding some salt and pepper. Now we're going to start on the sauce. I keep ginger sliced and frozen in my freezer, so I just pulled a few pieces out and minced them to add to my bowl. Now we're adding the soy sauce packets. I used 4 or 5 packets for the sauce. Next is rice wine vinegar. Sesame oil. And honey. I also went rogue here and added some pineapple juice for extra flavor and to make sure I use that up. Now I've added the ham to my pan. I did let it get a little bit too hot, so make sure you watch that well. I did give the pineapple a nice color though. Now it's time to add the rice. And the sauce. Once your sauce is completely incorporated into the rice and veggie mixture and it's all warmed up, you are done making the dish, and then it will be time to portion it out. What I'm using here is 2 3-cup containers. I filled them most of the way up, and then I did have some left over, probably enough for about 4 total servings. I would normally like to have 5 servings, but where I was using the leftover rice, it made 4, but I was still happy that I was able to use up that rice and it didn't go to waste. To finish up the prep, I'm going to add some green onions right on top. And there you have it, the finished pineapple fried rice. For the second dish I'll be making, it's a brunch wrap supreme, which is a frittata wrapped in a wrapped in a tortilla. So this is the recipe. I'm going to be adding spinach in mine, along with sun-dried tomatoes and a little bit of sausage. The frittata part by making the egg mixture and then cooking it in the oven. It said for 30 minutes at 400 degrees. So that's the cheese with all of the fillings in it. And then after that's done, we'll wrap it in the tortilla and then seal the tortilla. And that's basically the whole recipe. So I'm going to get started on the egg mixture. For the frittata portion of the dish, that's going to go inside the tortilla, I'm using sun-dried tomatoes, some sausages, shredded cheese, or I'll shred the cheese, and some spinach. First, we're going to crack the eggs. I'm putting my sausages just to heat up and get some color on them. And we're going to chop up the spinach. I'm getting my whisk out to whisk up the eggs. And we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper as well. Pulling out some sun-dried tomatoes to chop up. I tried to kind of dice these up. They're a little slippery to work with, so be careful if you use sun-dried tomatoes in oil. I'm going to add those right into the egg mixture or any other vegetable you choose. Just checking on those sausages, moving them around, get some color on the other side. I found some parsley in the fridge, so I decided to throw that in there. Now it's time for cheese. I like to buy these blocks of cheese from Aldi. This is a sharp cheddar and just shred it myself. That way if I want to use it just as snacking cheese, I can do that. Or if I need to shred it, I have that option. I added the spinach to the pan to wilt it in that sausage fat. Once that was done, we're adding it into the egg mixture, and once the sausage is done, we're going to cut those up and also add those into the egg mixture. I waited just a little bit for them to cool because we didn't want to scramble the eggs. My oven was already preheated, but if you've watched my videos before, sometimes when we turn on the burners, the oven will turn off. So I was turning it back on. So I'm mixing in all the cheese here, and then we'll add in the sausage to the egg mixture. So normally I would never use cooking spray on my cast iron, but because it's eggs, I'm just going to do it because I don't want it to get too oily from just using an olive oil. Now you're going to add that right into the pan that's going to go in the oven. I should have used a square pan, but I did not. I used a circular one, and you'll see later when I'm wrapping the tortillas, it was a little bit tricky because it wasn't in a square. And there's the timer there. So that was originally set for 30 minutes. So we are about 18 minutes into prepping. 30 minutes have gone by and the frittata is done. There it is out of the oven, nice and golden crispy on top. And that didn't work. So I used a tiny plastic spatula to get it out of there, and it came out in one piece. So thank you, cooking spray. And now I'm kind of deciding how to cut this up. I had to make a few cuts to the edges to try and get these shaped in a way that would wrap up in the tortilla. And so once you fold the tortilla up, you're going to place it down on your hot skillet here, and that's going to heat up the tortilla and seal it around the frittata. Not all of these worked well sealing up for me, but I just kind of went with it, and it will be fine. Once it's reheated, you'll be able to hold it. So I try and eat meatless for breakfast and lunch mostly, and that's just, for saving money and just to lower the meat consumption, which is good to do here and there. So that's typically what I do. I know these meals both included some meat, and that was, stuff that I had available that was left over, and, extras from different meals. So that's also reducing food waste. I do like to I'll just eat the same thing all the way through the week. If a lot of people don't like to do that, you can use the program to make something that has a lot of the same ingredients, and that's going to save you money by buying ingredients in bulk, or if you have to buy a lot of one ingredient, you can use it in multiple meals. Let's see. Alright, I think we're going to just have to give up on this one. Stick it together. So that is what is great about the Workweek lunch program. I personally, what I've been doing, especially by choosing to lower the amount of meat that I'm eating, I've been using a lot of stuff just that we have in our house to make the lunches. Like what I did with the pineapple fried rice, we had the leftover rice. I already had the canned pineapples. I used the roasted red peppers instead of going out and buying a bell pepper, and that's just really worked out well for me and what I like to do. Also with meal prep, whether you're using a program or not, you can bulk things and then freeze some, so that's really helped a lot. If I make 2 or 3 batches of muffins, I have them available for 1 week when I'm not really feeling up to prepping, or it's really busy and I don't have time. So that's very helpful. I also like to have other things on hand if I run out, because for instance, I made the pineapple fried rice yesterday and then we ended up eating some of it for dinner. So I'm definitely not going to have enough for the week. So it's also great to have stuff in the freezer available for those times when you're extra hungry, or maybe a family member ate some of your meal preps because it looked delicious and it was ready to go. So it's definitely helpful to do those things to save you time in the future and be ready for when you are hungry for a meal that's prepped and ready to go and delicious. With Workweek lunch, you can make, any combination of meals for any amount of servings. So you could just do breakfast, you could do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I just do breakfast and lunch because I make all the meal preps for myself. So usually me and my husband will decide what we have for dinner, and I really like to make dinner to hone my cooking skills, make videos, and I just really enjoy that. It's something that I know people don't enjoy doing, so it's nice to have that ability to do those meals at dinner and not have to worry about breakfast or lunch. I used to scour for different recipes constantly, and this is just a great place to get everything in one place for meal prep and one-off recipes too. You can obviously make, you don't have to make them preppable, preppable. And I love that you can just input an item that you have. It worked really well when I was doing a vegetable mystery box, not mystery box, but subscription box like Imperfect Foods or Misfit Market. That was super helpful to have, a tool to make meals with those vegetables. These look good. They're still a little hot, so I'll leave them out for a while and let them completely cool. And then I'll just stick them in a bag for the fridge, or you can of course freeze them. I just like to freeze them in a bag instead of wrapping them in individual foils or anything like that. But those will be for my breakfast for this week, and that was so it took about 18 minutes to prep the brunch wraps with the, we had to sear the meat and wilt the spinach, and then we had to mix the egg mixture, and then it went in the oven for 30 minutes, and then I had to let the eggs cool a little bit, and then we wrapped them up, which probably took me about 10 to 15 minutes to wrap and heat them. So that wasn't that bad because most of that work was just in the oven, so probably about a total of 30 minutes actual working time. And of course you gotta clean up, but that's why we have dishwashers. If you're lucky enough to have a dishwasher, please use it. I want to thank you all for watching and hanging out with me today while I meal prepped. If you like this video, please hit that like button, leave me a comment, and let me know if you meal prep, what your favorite meals are, and subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you all next time. Thank you.